from view. Presto! Back in one piece. Cutting cards by magic. Simple, when you know the secrets.
Coming up next, the secrets to squeezing a beautiful girl into a tiny box and punching a hole straight through her. Then, the incredible street magic trick that proves the mysterious powers of ESP. Plus a 16-ton trolley rises, then vanishes in the blink of an eye.
For his next illusion tonight, the magician will employ this peculiar cabinet. As we can see, it's built with octagonal cutouts in the top and bottom sections. He'll also employ the help of an assistant, some employment agency. He invites the girl to step into the box. Knowing what it means to her career, she obeys. He closes the bottom section of the cabinet and closes the door. Next, he closes the top half, but we can still see the girl inside. She gives us a cute little wave goodbye and then lowers a black shade behind the cutout. Next, the magician begins to lower the top section of the box down onto the bottom section, squeezing the girl inside. She's now been crushed down into that tiny box. No matter, he employs a bunch of girls. He gives the box a little spin so we can see each side. And sure enough, another assistant brings the magician an octagonal tube, among her other gifts. As we can see, it's empty. Next, he places the tube into the matching cutout in the box, a perfect fit. But has he forgotten there's still a crushed girl inside that box? Maybe not. The tube goes completely through the hole. As we can now see, it allows us a view all the way through to the other side. The girl in the box is gone, or she's been crushed and then impaled by that 8-sided tube. Either way, it's not pretty. The magician removes the tube, and his assistant takes it with her as she leaves. She giveth and taketh away. Next, the magician lifts the top section of the box back up just a bit, and it rises the rest of the way by magic. Tricky little cabinet. And there's the girl. Tricky little devil. He opens the cabinet and she steps out, completely free of crushing or puncture wounds, and looking great. What's her secret? So, how did the magician jam his beautiful assistant down into the small cube, puncture her with the 8-sided tube, and magically restore her to one stunning piece? Here are the secrets. The deception begins the second the assistant lowers the shade, hiding her from view. Once the shade is down, she releases 2 wedges that are holding the top half of the cabinet in place. This section can now easily slide down over the bottom box. But where does she go? First, she stands up and holds the upper box as it's pushed down. This creates the illusion that the magician is crushing her into the bottom box, yet allows her to safely control the action as she sinks down. The box contains several more secrets that allow her to fit. First, the base of the box is much deeper than it appears. When the box is empty, we can see that there is a lot of room for the girl to sit out of harm's way. The next secret is in the sides of the box. They're constructed of spandex, which expands to allow more room for the girl's back and legs. This black fabric isn't detected due to the deceptive paint job on the box. But even if she's managed to squeeze into the bottom box, how does the magician puncture it with the 8-sided tube? Here's the next secret. First, the girl removes a false panel at the back of the box. Then as the magician slides the tube through the octagonal hole, he's careful to keep it precisely on target. The assistant presses her back and legs against the side of the box, allowing the tube just enough room to slide through. With the top replaced with plexiglass, we can see how she helps feed the tube through the hole and manages to stay out of the way. Upon closer inspection, we can see how critical it is that she press against the sides to make room for the tube. Next, the magician simply reverses the action and removes the tube. The girl now has room to exhale and relax for a moment before her big reveal. She stands up, lifting the top box, creating the illusion that the magician is making it rise by magic. Of course, she's simply pushing it up as she stands. Presto, a magically restored girl. Congratulations, Masked Man. She did it again.
Up next, find out how street magicians prove they can read minds and change ordinary dollar bills into genuine 50s. And then, the magician makes a San Francisco trolley car levitate, then disappear.
Here's another trick street magicians play on unsuspecting victims. The masked magician is using one of his assistants to stand in for a randomly chosen volunteer. He tells her to think of the name of a friend or family member and write it on a pad of paper. He turns his back so he can't see what she's writing. When she's finished, she puts the cap back on the pen, tears off the sheet of paper, and hands the pen and pad back to the magician. She shows us the name, Mary. Remember, the magician can't see it, and normally he'd be using a random volunteer. Next, the assistant folds the paper into a small packet as instructed. The magician turns back around and presents a lighter and an ashtray. You can probably figure out what's going to happen next. The assistant places the folded paper into the ashtray, and the magician uses the lighter to set it ablaze. Feel the burn? Those are real flames, so don't try this at home. The magician douses the flames with his fingertips and scoops up some of the ashes. He sets down the ashtray and allows his jacket sleeve to pull back. With his sleeve up, we can see that there is nothing on his forearm. He sprinkles the ash onto his arm, then begins to rub the ash into his skin. Would you look at that? The name Mary magically appears. We just saw the magician ask his volunteer to write a name and show it to the camera. Then he burned the paper, rubbed the ashes onto his arm, and somehow made the same name appear. But you know he didn't do it by magic. Here are the secrets. First, the pad has been rigged with a piece of ordinary carbon paper, several sheets below the piece he offers to the volunteer. When she writes on the pad, the pressure from the pen on the carbon paper transfers the name to another sheet. While she is busy showing the name to the camera, the magician is sneaking a look at the carbon copy. The next secret is this small stick of clear wax. While we are looking at the name on the paper, the magician is secretly rolling up his sleeve and using the wax to write the name on his forearm. Since it's clear, we can't see it. That is, until he applies the ash, which sticks to the wax and reveals the name. Not hard to pull off, when you know the secrets. Next, the magician will demonstrate a close-up trick that is a favorite among TV street magicians. He displays a crisp $1 bill. Watch. He folds the bill in half, then in half again. Now he folds it one more time. He grips it between his fingertips, showing his hands empty. Watch for the magic. He unfolds the dollar bill, which has miraculously turned into a 50. That's the kind of inflation we can use, and it's all done with magic. So, how does the magician turn an ordinary $1 bill into a 50? Just by folding it in his fingertips. Here are the secrets. The magician starts with a real dollar, but secretly attached to the back is the folded 50. When the trick begins, the magician shows us how he folds the dollar, being careful to keep the 50 hidden from view. From behind, we can see how he manipulates the fold while concealing the 50. There it is on the bottom. He folds the top of the dollar down, and this is where he makes his move, flipping the bills over so the 50 is now in front and the dollar is on the back of it. Here it is from behind. Now all he has to do is unfold the 50 and reveal it to the audience. He keeps the